It has been a minute, so here's a quick recap of how far this 1959 Kencraft has come. Here's how it looked on the day we brought it home, and then I quickly suited up to keep myself safe during the demolition portion. I started ripping up all of the old carpet and all of the padding that was completely disintegrated, removed the furnace, yes, this toilet went too, along with the countertops and many other things. I wanted to open up the space, so I removed this section that used to hold the fridge that was missing when we purchased the trailer, and then I started making the backsplash and cutting the new countertops. This little area became a little electric fireplace where the propane heater used to be. Painted the entire base cabinets creamy white, and then took this white hardboard, cut it to size, and I made an epoxy backsplash that waterfalled up into the ceiling to cover the discoloration from the cabinets that I had removed. I added some decorative trim and then secured the butcher block countertops, and then got to work on this open bistro shelf. I ended up painting this portion of the wall white, added these little rails, and boom, here it is. Next, I wanted to close up all the holes on the roof, so I added this skylight, this ventidome, and then lap sealed everything, and the roof was sealed. Then it was time to prep for paint. Pressure washed everything, sealed all the windows, and we went from this to this. It was definitely a much bigger job than that. We used an epoxy primer and sealer, followed by the paint color, but once it was done, we were able to mimic the original design. Added back some new vintage lights, and of course, a couple baby moons. A new electric jack, and then this fool thought it was a good idea to cut the trailer. But we'll get back to that. There was a reason. I started painting the other base cabinets in the kitchen, the same creamy white, and then made a divider here, cut out the countertops for the sink and the stove cutout, carried it in to dry fit and make sure everything lined up appropriately, fixed some of the front cabinets that I had to alter, and then I also took an old cabinet door and turned it into a pull-out trash. Then I started drilling the holes for my faucet, installed my backsplash, and then the countertops, placed in the faucet, the sink, and the 2-burner stove. Everything was a perfect fit. I spray painted all of the original hardware gold, installed those, along with this tankless water heater, which is why he was cutting a hole in the outside of the trailer. We got that all installed with the door that comes with it, and then started in on the solar panels. We mounted them to the roof and then drilled in through the ceiling to run the wires down into our power bank. We also added a new shore power along with a water fill that leads right into the utility closet with our new water tank. Added back one of the original mirrors in the trailer and some trim for the door to cover up all of that, and then started lightly sanding every piece of wood in this trailer and putting Restore Finish in mahogany on everything. Next, I washed all of the original light fixtures from the trailer and used rub and buff on the bases to give it more of a patina look, and then I spray painted a 2-tone color on the existing vent hood to pull from the backsplash. The side pantry door next to the kitchen needed to be changed up, so I altered it to have a faux reeded glass film and reinstalled that, and I was shocked that it actually worked. Installed more cabinet doors and light fixtures, and we were looking pretty done in the front. So obviously the next task was flooring. I used this thin light colored LVP throughout the entire trailer, and that pretty much gets you caught up to where we left off. I have so many fun, exciting things coming up, like this feature wall with blue velvet, and then this pedestal sink that I cannot believe is actually gonna work. Keep following along to see how it turns out.